Halloween spooks outside my window.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
Nah, bro, Halloween spooks.
Nah, dude, you gotta get that remix where it's like bumped up a little faster.
Company, just a bunch of friends coming together and talking about some movies that we think are underrated or underappreciated, or even ones that have slipped under the radar. Today's going to be a spooky version. We're going to be talking about Ernest Scared Stupid. Came out in 1991, directed by John Cherry, starring the late great Jim Varney. Last of the theatrical Ernest movies. I know they released a couple more on straight to video up until like 2000 or something, right before Jim Varney's death. Starring 1960s Batman, Catwoman, Eartha Kitt.
Oh my god.
Which was a pleasant surprise. I was like, what the
I had no idea she was in this movie.
Yeah, and then made $14 million at the box office and a lovely 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, and this one's pick is from Fred.
Yeah, fuck everybody, because you guys should have watched it. It was better than 17%.
Perfect. So anyway, pretty much stars Jim Varney as Ernest. I never really grew up watching them. I know Fred did.
I did. He was the best. Listen to me. He's the Slinky in Toy Story. Yeah. Right? I'm just going to say that.
The OG Slinky.
Yeah. Just enough for you guys to go watch it because he's Slinky. Because everybody loves a Slinky.
I know he's Slinky.
So I'm going to watch Toy Story.
And think, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ernest Goes to Jail. How about Toy Story 2?
Another great classic. If you guys haven't seen that one, I recommend it.
Let's not forget Paul from the Beverly Hillbillies, the movie.
What?
2.
Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about
he was
that.
good in that movie.
Yeah, he's Paul.
Yeah, but Jim Varney, classically trained actor who, in case people aren't aware, this started as like just kind of like local commercials, and then it just caught on. And
yeah, I heard that it was
bigger
like
and bigger and bigger until they started making movies and stuff.
Weren't they like commercials like you can take straight home? Because I did a little research on that.
Yeah.
Like you can take the fucking video home and you can watch the commercial. Like there were skit commercials.
I think wasn't it like for selling cars or something?
It started out with cars, and then it like became bigger. Like he'd do 7-Up commercials and stuff. And
yeah, it was
kind of became bigger and bigger. Like John Cherry was just this local guy who would make these commercials. It was just they were just friends and made these commercials. It was this character that he invented, and it kind of just caught on. And then they made like Ernest Goes to Camp, and then these other movies. And
I think as we'll talk about later on in this episode, he was pretty much like one of the early like very much like character actors where it was like he did multiple characters at a time. Kind of like gets tied into this movie as like a schizophrenic kind of weird.
That's like a trip.
Flat out gets called out, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that was one of his things, but that was good. Well, see, the thing is, these movies are more for like children, and those whole switching personalities and doing all that stuff is funny. So I saw them when I was a kid, so watching them now, you still get that sense of ha ha ha. It's almost that nostalgia thing when you watch them again. Definitely, if it's your first watch, if it's your first watch, you're probably like, oh man, what am I watching? What are they getting me into?
It was definitely of its time, like definitely of the 90s.
Yeah, it was
80s
very much
90s.
Wow, but it's still good today.
But it is still good. It's I mean it boils down to like that simple kids like moral story.
See, the problem is all of you guys are jaded. And
life
sucked the
soul
out of
You're
me.
a negative person on this podcast. We talk about a movie we love, and you're like, "Here, I love this movie, but let me tell you 18 reasons why I hate it."
Well, you know,
13 reasons why.
No, but you know why? Because that is a part of us doing this podcast.
All right, and
if it was,
I'll take on that role this time.
Yeah. No, you can.
It's kind of hard with this movie too because it is more nostalgic for as a kid's movie. Yeah. Movie you watch as a kid.
Don't get me wrong. This movie as an adult, this is not a movie that an adult's going to enjoy. I will tell you 100%.
Well, let's start off going around like what we think of it. Why don't you go ahead and start us off? Because this is your pick, Fred.
So it's your pick.
You were the one.
Okay.
Tell us about how this is an underrated movie.
So what's the story? A little bit on the story.
Yeah,
why you feel it's underrated?
Okay. Because I already knew it was going to be underrated straight off the bat, and I knew you guys weren't going to enjoy this movie. So that brought me joy to make you guys watch it, and not to be a jerk, but no, let's be real. I know these Ernest movies are a movie of its time only. Many people aren't going to watch it now. You know, they're probably not the kind of comedy that happened now. That kind of comedy is the one that people grew up watching Looney Tunes and things like that. That's who finds it funny, and that's who's going to find it funny today.
Yeah, and you know what's funny too is like, sorry to interrupt, but like literally days before, like the night I watched it a couple of days ago, that same night I started noticing all these like YouTube channels are like, hey, you ever heard of this movie Ernest Scared Stupid? And I was like, get out of town, like we're about to record that. And like I saw a couple of like the videos, and people were like loving it. I guess, I mean, we do live in an age of nostalgia, but everybody was like, oh my god, dude, when I grew up I watched it, and then they said, oh, I watched it again, and they're like, it's fucking amazing.
But that's the thing, you're gonna watch it with nostalgia, guys. Look, if you like Looney Tunes, if you like that silly stuff, and if you can still like it today, that's the thing. If you can still like that kind of humor today, and it's tough because as we grow older, our humor changes and our things change. But if you can still like that kind of humor today, then this movie, you have to go. It's almost one of those movies you have to go in with just no preconceived notions, no nothing, and just watch a silly movie. It's literally a silly movie. But I do know that kids do enjoy this movie. Even to today, I had my two boys watch it because I wanted to see, you know, obviously me with nostalgia, I'm going to be like, oh, this movie still holds up in my kid eyes. Not in the adult eyes or in a movie that deserves an Academy Award, but in the sense of what it was at the time. I'm still going to see it that way and go, well, this is good. Obviously, new people won't. But my kids watched it, and they've been watching it since.
Well, there's definitely things about this movie that I really appreciate that I'll get more into later. And, like, I do see, like, what it was going for. Yeah. But, yeah, like, it's not, you know, an Academy Award movie.
No, it's not.
It is. There's movies like this, like, and, you know, I think about Hocus Pocus a lot. Like, that's a movie that's, like, you know, I loved as a kid. And it's hard to separate out, like, oh, do I, like, really like this movie, or is it just, like, nostalgic for me?
And that's the thing, that this is that kind of movie. This is like a Hocus Pocus movie. It's not going to be scary. It's not like a full-on horror movie. What I do like is the practical effects with the trolls and the stuff like that.
I gotta disagree with that.
No, I'm not saying that they were scary or that they were stuff. I'm just saying it was nice to, you know, to have some practical effects on the movie, that you see that they actually put something into the movie instead of doing. I mean, they were okay done.
They were not.
But
I actually,
you guys know that they literally repainted, like, except for the main one, all the other trolls. You know that movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yeah.
They literally repainted the clowns from that.
They did.
But they're just literally reused movie monsters from one of the worst movies of all time.
Yeah.
Whoa. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a fucking classic, sir. Fuck off.
Anyways,
that's the next episode we're doing.
Well, but like I'm saying, it's just it's cool what they did with what they did. Obviously, they probably didn't have a huge budget to do it. But what they did was cool. I enjoyed it. And even if they repurposed whatever they did, it was just kind of cool to see more trolls than just that one troll in the damn movie. Like I say, it's not a movie for everybody. But the movie that it's for, you're probably really going to like it.
Yeah.
That's it. Either it's going to be one of those polarizing movies. Either you're going to look at it and you're going to go, damn it, I fucking love this movie. Or you're going to look at it and go, oh, fuck, this movie's stupid. But that's it.
Scared
yeah.
Stupid.
And I think that's like going back to what I was talking about earlier of it being a story that's very simple, very like connective, and has it comes down to having a heart and having like a true story behind it. And I think that's maybe why it's gaining a bit more popularity online, because maybe that's kind of like what people have been missing. You know, movies today are very heavy, especially even the simple kids movies. They carry a really, you know, strong like story behind it. Like, you know, we reviewed Pete's Dragon, and that had to do with like, you know, parents' death and depression and all that. So I think just to go back to that feeling of maybe like your childhood and like having it just be like easy, you know, an easy story, that might be what's being more connected.
It's like watching the Halloween Town movies. You know, it gives you a good feeling at the end. You feel like, oh, you know, family and friends and love, and then you walk away. Even though it's a Halloween movie, you just kind of walk away with like, oh, that's kind of nice.
I think it's just more too for me is like I didn't really watch a lot of like live action comedy kids movies when I was growing up. I was watching more like animated stuff like Five Foot Goes West and
shout out to Don Bluth.
You know, Don Bluth. You know, Lion King, Akira, End of Evangelion. You know, wholesome family stuff like that. But
good stuff for the whole family.
Yeah, all great.
Show your kids Akira.
Especially Akira and End of Evangelion.
Don't even look it up. Just show your kids.
Just show them.
While it is very much of its time, me not growing up with that time, I really did appreciate it because it reminded me a lot of. And this being my first viewing, I really appreciate that whole feeling of, and yeah, it's a Halloween movie. It really captures that like kind of fun, innocent and that, to me, that's what like Halloween movies should be about, is capturing that kind of feeling, not necessarily horror, but yeah, it was a really good Halloween movie. But in terms of like as a childish live action comedy movie, I thought it was really funny because I think a lot of people of my age group and from my generation would really appreciate this because it reminds us a lot of what used to be, but it's also it's also funny on its own, and it's in a way it's kind of wholesome, and I think that wholesome aspect really adds to the experience of watching it. It makes people appreciate it more because kids movies these days, some of them with the stories are pretty heavy, but also kind of in the polar opposite way. They're just kind of pointless and soulless, and they're kids, so they're not even gonna notice it. But I mean, if you got young kids, show it to them, and then they'll appreciate it.
I mean, I agree with that. Like when I was watching it, it's a little bit of a tough watch for me, just because, like I said, I didn't really grow up watching that stuff. I know Fred would always talk about them when we were kids, but
and then I was introduced by it from my mom because her dad was a really big Ernest fan, being from Texas and having that kind of southern sense of humor kind of thing. So that's how me and Fred kind of like, oh yeah, Ernest Scared Stupid.
It's a fucking good movie.
But go continue.
The things that I enjoyed of it, I mean, when I see a movie, I at least try and find things that I really like. Go, hey, you know what? I know somebody like people worked really hard on it, especially Jim Varney, because like that fucking guy was just on fire. Like that guy is just like, he is probably like the reason why you watch him.
120%.
Like that guy, I respect that so much because I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, when it gets back around me, I want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, just this movie like shows of how much of like a great character actor he is. Like,
oh my goodness, yeah.
Within the span, like, and then how the scenes were set up of like
when he's
these
Julius
multiple...
Caesar type
yeah,
looking,
that stuff.
And then he's, but no, I'm saying it shows a little bit of his kind of like
his range
and goofiness, because it's always on. The movie starts and it's on all the way through, and even when he gets sad, you feel for him at that point because you go, damn, this goofy guy has a tough stuff because nobody respects him because he's goofy. And then at the end with a whole dog and all this, everybody gets something but not
legit,
me. You legit feel sad at that moment. You just go, oh fuck, man, like poor guy. And then he gets his happy ending, and so does everybody else. And then at the end, you just feel like, oh shit.
And then Eartha Kitt's still just a mad lad.
She's
just so mad.
She's like, I don't think I was like, who in the entire world could reach Jim Varney's level? Eartha Kitt, nobody else.
Eartha Kitt,
like fucking, she's just on this level where they're both like insane, awesome, crazy people. And I really want to, like, that's one thing I really, really love about this movie is those two performances. Like, I mean, I might say other things about the rest of the movie, but holy shit, I loved watching the two of them because she brought the energy up to his level. And Jim Varney, he's incredible. Like, he's he's a classically trained Shakespearean actor. Like, I've seen video clips of him just like doing Hamlet and stuff, and you can tell it comes through. Like, we talk a lot on this podcast about why we like this performance and this performance. But this is like a different kind of good performance. This is like a very Shakespearean theatrical performance. And it's not like, oh, I love this because of like the realism. It's like, I love this because it's literally just like watching this amazing performance. He's doing all these crazy things that you don't really see. And it's like this great like Shakespearean actor in this kind of like, like I didn't love the plot. Like anytime it wasn't Eartha Kitt or Ernest on screen, when it was like the kids or something, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm done with this.
Goosebump kids.
Oh my god. But then they cut back to him, and he was just so captivating. It didn't matter. Like, I wasn't into the story, but that didn't matter because I was so captivated by his and Eartha Kitt's performances that like they're making dumb jokes about Miak or whatever. I'm like, I'm still all in. I'm like, yes, do some more stuff.
That was kind of for me. I was like,
but the thing is, like, if you've seen a bunch of Ernest stuff before, they're like that's his humor.
It's got this shtick, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I had to still do some research because, like I said,
you wanted to know if
I wanted to know
real.
more, and like I literally went through like his filmography and everything.
I went
this
through
guy,
and I was like, "Yo, is Miak real?" And I couldn't find it.
Oh, it's not real. No, I watched the video.
That was pretty good. I liked that because like, the first time they did the joke, I was like, that's whatever. But then they kept it going. I was like, I appreciate that you kept the joke going. All right.
No, for me, the funniest part was like when you see young Ernest, and like the teacher's talking.
And she smacks him in the back of the head.
She like smacks him right into the wall.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. I was dying. I was like, oh my god. All right, you got me now.
What was it? Because he doesn't know when to stop or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't know when to stop.
And then he scrapes
the thing and she smacks him.
Because we all know
He's got
like
that
a guy
willpower,
like that,
like a Green Lantern.
He's kind of an annoying. Like you like him, but it's just kind of like shut the fuck up sometimes, man. And he's he's like a likable guy. But sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up.
Well, you gotta put yourself in the shoes of a little kid whose parents just put this on in like the week of Halloween, just to like you can watch TV, and I think that they'll appreciate that a little bit more because kids are dumb, and they need it.
What I think it is it's sometimes it's the over the top humor.
Yeah,
is what gets him. Like the way he acts.
Yeah,
the way
this isn't like high art, This isn't like
because you know what it is. It's
not highbrow.
No. You would think, but the way he acts, he also emotes as he acts.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the whole opening is him emoting with his face.
Yeah,
that opening was sick too.
It's like at the beginning of Mario when you just move out Mario's face. Mario's
and then even the opening. I also appreciated the font choices too because they like had a mixture of multiple fonts, which are like reference like very old.
Yeah, they reference like
horror
old school
movies.
Yeah, I like them
movies.
slicing in the old
like very
horror movies.
like sci-fi horror B movies from like the 50s.
Yeah,
and
different
60s.
fonts and stuff like that.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, so just to finish up.
And of course, close-ups of his ridiculous face.
Wait, but finishing up on our Ernest in this, I just like the throwaway line that the boy gives of like, we don't have time for your multiple personality right now.
Oh yeah, they
like
address
they
that.
full on
straight throws him like, hey bro, shut the fuck up.
Oh, I thought it was hinting that he just has schizophrenia or something.
No,
because like I
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
that's like a sub.
Dissociative identity disorder and shit.
Or that's just like something like hidden in the thing. So like it's not outright said, but it's heavily implied.
Oh yeah, totally. I can totally see that. But that's like super looking into it.
Yeah.
Like the whole Pokemon Ash theory that Ash is in a coma bullshit.
That's also the shtick that he does with the whole personalities. Because look, I don't know if you guys noticed this. He falls on the back of the trash truck, and then he gets squeezed into a box, and then he comes out with his legs like facing the same way as his head. That's that Looney Tune shit. A real person would die if that were to happen. You know what I'm saying?
No, for me, I was
not
like,
a doctor, but
definitely.
I'm not
for me,
saying.
I was
But
like,
you're
whoa, graphic splatterpunk horror. I love it.
Wait, Alan, finish up on what you were
Oh yeah,
say.
so pretty much my thing is like, I mean, would I recommend it? I would recommend it to like kids. I'd be like, hey man, give it a watch. After that, check out like Akira or something.
Yeah.
But
best kids movie.
Yeah, best kids. But like I love Halloween to death. So of course I had to watch it. I was like, I gotta watch it. I love Halloween.
And it's like one of those wholesome Halloween movies.
Yeah, it's a wholesome Halloween movie.
Kids movie like Grave of the
wholesome,
Fireflies.
It's
Check
like,
that one out.
I always say this.
Grave of the Fireflies. Yes,
Yeah, that's a great kids movie.
Great
Put
kids
that on
movie.
for your kids.
Oh no! I thought you were talking about
No,
When a Good Girl Goes Bad. That was another 90s.
Oh, Billie Eilish.
yeah,
No.
bad guy. No,
Oh no!
No,
it's
'cause
with from Back to the Future, Doc
Oh.
Christopher Lloyd.
I was gonna say Elliot Brown,
Michael J.
Yeah.
Fox.
And
No, because there's a few movies that you should watch, no matter what age you are. If you've never seen them, just watch them just for cult classic-y things.
Mhm.
Look, Halloween Town movies. If you've never watched them, I think you should give them a try.
Town 2,
Yeah.
Calabar's Revenge.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
my
because
God,
High.
dude.
and I'm not saying because it might be
That
great
one
at
was-
this
I
point.
didn't care for, but
I mean,
I just like the first
University.
one, honestly.
yeah, like I'm not saying that they're
One
going to
and
be
two.
great in this point in time, but you should just give them a watch. I mean, a lot of people have seen them, and it's just for the cult following of some of those movies. Hocus Pocus is another one. Some people are going to like it, some people are not, but it's one of those movies that you should give a shot. And I say Ernest is in the same league of this Halloween one. I'm not talking about all his movies. But
just
I'm saying,
Halloween in
I'm
general.
just saying when it's Halloween time, I say toss it in to just feel, I don't know, like some happiness in Halloween.
Yeah, because I
I mean,
mean,
and
for
if it's
kids,
yeah.
like when I was growing up, at least like when I watched stuff for Halloween, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch the Billy and Mandy Halloween special,
Yeah,
Halloween
that was
Town
good.
1 and 2,
Yeah.
any Halloween special I can get my hands on. I just never got around Ernest. But just to finish up, like I recommend it. Like if you're gonna show it to your family and just be like, hey, this was a comedy back in the day. It's Halloween. Give it a chance. And the things I really enjoyed though, that I'm practical effects, dude. I fucking jerk off to practical effects. I love them so much. So seeing all the effects like that, I'm always like, yes, dude, give me more, give me more.
Like the trolls,
like the
trolls,
cannon
yes,
that shoots
all
up
that
the
stuff.
milk.
Oh,
When I
the
was,
dude,
oh,
that
yeah.
was
I was like,
badass.
I was like, I wish I had that.
Whoa.
Maybe that made me like, if I were a kid, and
I
I
would
saw,
want that,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
was-
Oh
yeah.
no, you guys are completely forgetting the incredible. Like the '90s had a thing about making godlike tree houses.
of like
That tree house was
stuff
sick
that like
as
kids
fuck.
would have been like wanted
Like
to
that
do.
thing, it's like a hotel. It's so
Yeah, it
big.
sparks the
all
the
these things are going
imagination.
on,
That's
and I'm
why
like,
as
oh
a
my
kid, I
God.
would have loved to see this.
Just having your friends roll around and be
I
like, "Hey,
think-
bro, let's go to my
I
tree
did
house."
actually
Yeah,
have a
I
cool
think-
treehouse in my backyard because my dad was an architect.
I think the
Must be
90s
nice.
spawned
Mhm.
our generation's want for that treehouse and for a freaking epic pillow fort.
Yes.
Oh man,
Mhm.
Community.
And that's what I was about to
Yeah.
think. Like, because he was a kid of the 90s.
Mhm. Only '90s kids will understand.
Yeah, only '90s kids will understand. 1890s kids.
Yeah.
But Sergio, you have anything you want to add to all this?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, just 90 kids aside, me as a kid, I would have adored this movie. Cause yeah, just all that kind of stuff just kind of like sparks the imagination, and then just the wholesomeness of Halloween and watching it as a kid, growing up with stuff like Halloween Town during Halloween and watching old Disney Channel shows
Mhm.
and stuff like that. This really goes hand in hand with all of that, and I really
Exactly.
do appreciate watching this now for the first time because it's
Mhm.
like rediscovering or like discovering something that I used to watch for the first time
Mhm.
again. So that
Mhm.
was really cool.
That's the thing. I still think this movie, as a kids movie, as a movie that it was meant to be, to this day, in 2019, it still holds up for what it's supposed to be. Not for everybody else, but for what the movie was made for. And even with its old effects and the like you said, the old little cutscenes in the beginning of old Halloween movies and other stuff like that, for what it was done and for what it's supposed to be for, I think still holds up to today. Like I said, a children's movie. It's not it's not supposed to be a horror movie. It's not supposed to be some kind of blockbuster action movie. It's just supposed to be kind of like a family friendly Halloween movie. To today, it holds up.
Yes,
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, go ahead.
so yeah, I just want to say, like, for me, like I said, there was definitely things I liked about the movie. Obviously, the acting by the two leads, of course. It didn't really do it for me overall as a movie. I know you guys were talking about the practical effects. I love a practical effects, but like this movie was made real cheap looking, and not like Evil Dead cheap looking, where it's like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Like it was like there's parts where I was like, how hard would you try? Like there's parts where like it's the sped up part where I see somebody's like hand coming, like the director's hand coming in the scene.
Oh no!
Did you see that?
Did you see
that?
when he becomes the trash that trash square? Somebody pushes him. Like if you pause it, you can see a hand. Movie
You can
magic.
see, I've
Just
seen
boom.
hands multiple times in
Yeah,
this.
I
Yeah.
love that stuff.
But
It's very low budget.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah,
it's
because
like
this was
homegrown.
Disney's last
yeah.
theatrical Ernest movie. After that, it was all like
Oh,
Ernest
if
goes
it
to
was
Africa.
Disney in the 90s,
some-
it was
yeah.
a rough
Yeah.
time for Disney in the 90s, so that's probably.
Yeah, because they only had their success rate was very funky.
That was when they were starting to pick up again. Like, because this was like, what year did this come out? 92?
No
you said?
CG.
1991.
91. So yeah, that was like right at the beginning of the Disney Renaissance when they were starting to turn around. They'd had
Like
Little
Pixar
Mermaid
and all that.
And Ernest started it all.
But
The
here-
only reason why is because Varney passed away.
But that kind of
That
adds
was it.
to the for me that like cheesy
Is what makes the
special
movie
effects.
good, right?
It adds to the charm.
Yes!
And also, honestly, as a kid, you're gonna find that shit scary. You're gonna have nightmares about that. You
I
know.
was definitely scared as a kid. This came out the year before I was born, but I grew up. Like I said, I grew up with it, so it scared me so much. Yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. This is what I want to say is this movie, it didn't do it for me. You know what?
it didn't really do it for me either, but I still recommend it. But go ahead.
And the whole point, at least for me, of doing this podcast is like, people tell you, oh, fuck this movie. I don't like this movie. Everybody's saying this movie's bullshit. And it's a fucking movie you love. Screw those people. Fucking love what you love. Fred, you love this goddamn movie. It doesn't do it for me, but you love it, and I just love right now listening to you talk about how much this movie means to you, how much, like, as a kid you loved it. I loved Sergio saying it for the first time, and these, like, I could see the wonder right now looking into your fucking eyes. Like, I could see Ernest dancing in your eyes.
He's like, I want to see Ernest goes to jail. Ernest goes to Africa. Ernest goes everything.
That's real. That's
it's
real, by the way.
It's real.
That's real.
Ernest does blackface.
I think he might.
Ernest becomes Canadian Prime Minister.
Sick.
No, they have another one like Ernest plays basketball or something. They did a lot of those. It was just a thing.
Yeah.
I want to see the Christmas.
Ernest v. Airbud? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sick.
Dawn of
basketball.
No, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's like nobody should. Yeah, even though like the quality of it is not. Obviously, it's a very. As a movie.
The thing is always this.
It means something to you personally. That's great.
Here's the thing. It's good when we pick movies like this, and only in the sense of this. A podcast will not work unless there is some kind of fucking discussion. Let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so somebody has to not like it, and somebody has to like it. Because if we're sucking the movie's dick the whole time, nobody's gonna want to listen.
But yeah, that's
let's be real. Who's the listeners that want to listen to?
But I kind of.
But honestly, though, if we could suck a film's dick on camera, everybody would watch. But unfortunately, we got to do it this way.
But what I'm saying is like. It's that nice back and forth and a discussion of a movie when you, like, if you guys were to break down this movie, I wouldn't care. Like that, it doesn't hurt me to hear you guys say that you guys don't like it.
Give me 1 second. Let me get my whiteboard.
Yeah,
this is like such a weird movie to break down. It's like. It's a movie that's hard to break down because it's like obviously this is not meant to be broken down. You just kind of watch it and you laugh at it.
But I'm saying like
it's
I know
not
that
trying to
movie,
be something that's supposed to be analyzed. This
Exactly,
isn't any.
yeah.
In all honesty, the only people that I thought were gonna like this movie was gonna be me and Ariel. Because we already saw it and we already said, "Hey, we like this movie."
Yeah, because the three of us
hadn't seen it yet.
So, yeah,
and that's why I'm saying, like, you know, I didn't expect Alan to like it, and I didn't expect you, Derek, to like it, and I didn't expect Sergio to like it. It's just if you guys.
Three is not bad.
I knew what I was getting into. I knew what it was.
Yeah,
but I wasn't like expecting to dive in and like just kind of
enjoy.
I mean, well, no, I enjoyed it. I just wanted to sit back and relax and enjoy it, and then I wasn't anticipating it to be like something to dissect. Yeah, like movies like this are hard to dissect because it is.
No, and it's more of like, you know, you can, like I said, you always take in like their acting or maybe like you said the practical effects that you like, which is perfectly okay, and that's something that we can discuss a little bit. But it's always good to have a little back and forth. It you know, it's nice to have maybe one or another guy like different things. Obviously, we all have different tastes. I mean, this podcast isn't to deter people from watching a movie. It's just literally picking movies to maybe if you were on the fence, maybe one of us here can get you off that fence and get you going to watch that movie. And if you do, cool, you know, let us know. You know, put it in the comments. Let us know if you guys actually enjoy the stuff we're watching. Because you know what? We need more people watching this damn movie. Okay, we need this to be a cult movie. This needs to be on every Halloween show. It needs to be back on.
Honestly, I think it is. Like, I know we usually talk about like how we think. Oh, do you think this movie's gonna get speed at one point in time? I really think it will.
Yeah, and you know why? Because I know it's a damn good movie. Because I got good taste. That's it. Boom. I said it.
Well, it's like the 30-year rule. Like, all the kids who grew up with this movie are now in their 30s. That's why nostalgia runs on a 30-year loop, is because things happen, and like then the people come of age, and that's why you're seeing all the big comebacks, like stuff from the 90s. Like, that's why the last 10 years was all dominated by 80s stuff. The next 10 years you're starting to see some stuff creep up, Captain Marvel and all this stuff from the 90s. So nostalgia is kind of come back on itself on this one, so I think that is why you're seeing this resurgence.
Michael Jackson, Bill Clinton, O.J. Simpson,
Bill
Cosby.
They're all back in the media, and we love it.
It's like we never left.
You know, I want to say that I don't think people love them back in the media. I don't think people love those guys.
Nostalgia,
back in the media.
of course.
No, I think they're in the news not for nostalgia, but for other reasons.
It has to be nostalgia.
Anyway,
that's all we give a shit about.
Anyway.
But yes, I mean, what can we say but watch this movie, make it a cult classic, go on Rotten Tomatoes. Go on Rotten Tomatoes and change the score.
That's true. The
Rotten
Tomatoes
that's not how Rotten Tomatoes works.
Change it from 17 to 100.
Rotten Tomatoes score like that is just so stupid. Don't pay attention to the Rotten Tomatoes score.
If everybody goes on there.
No, that's not. It's critics scores.
The audience score.
No, the audience score.
But it's like critics, like Ernest Scared Stupid failed to like. It's
well, let me ask you a question, Fred, because Ernest Goes to Camp actually has a positive score. It has a 62%.
Yeah, that was a good movie too.
And
it had good
which
cinematography,
you
good
think-
pacing,
which you
good
prefer?
editing.
It's like asking somebody, what do you like better, drinking Pepsi or drinking Coke?
Okay, let me ask you then, because I kind of wanted to watch Ernest Goes to Camp after this because I was like, I really like the character of Ernest.
The thing is, if you like Ernest's character, every movie
Is gonna be
is a hit or miss.
Well, then, yeah, why was this one like in
But
the
I mean,
critics'
like,
eyes? Why do you think
I
that
guess
this
they never miss,
one was
huh?
such a miss critically, and didn't do great financially either compared to Ernest Goes to Camp, which was a big success
Okay,
on both those fronts.
so
like at least compared to 62 is a lot better than 17. Why do you think that was that difference?
If you look at a lot of the movies, Ernest movies, it almost always goes the same way. You see Ernest, he starts off, happy-go-lucky. Some kind of issue comes in, and at the end, you get like this whole like almost like because they're all family-friendly movies, so it's all about things like that. And at the end, there's this happy story, and it goes out. Obviously, doing a camp story is probably easier to get that feeling of like an underdog feeling maybe, and then coming out on top at the end. With a Halloween movie, that kind of is a little weird because we're summoning out a troll and things like that. It's kind of a weird idea to give to people.
I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
this is kind of supposed to be like not a serious character, but like a character in the real world.
Yeah.
And then it's like got all this supernatural
Yeah.
stuff.
So that's why
If you look at the town, it's obviously not like real. It's supposed to be
If you-
super like over the top. And
right. And if you look at like the other movies that are more realistic, they probably are favored a little better just because of the fact that it's more realistic
And do you
all
think
the
it was
way
because
through.
it was the first one too that might have had something to do with it? It was like okay, like at that point we're like, oh, Ernest, we're getting an Ernest movie. He's kind of fresh. Whereas that by this point maybe it got like, a little old.
It might have gotten old. People might have not cared. Depends on, I don't know what other movies came out at the time with it. Because if you're judging it comparing to, the problem I think is always this. Whenever we judge a movie, you're judging it on how you feel. Obviously, not everybody's a critic. There's only so many critics, and I'm not here to deny or say or whatever. Every critic has his own right to say whatever he wants. Essentially, that's what we are right now. We're pretty much critics of whatever movie we're watching. It's the Ernest movies are a tough sell. The kids were becoming a little bit older, maybe moving on a little bit from those movies. The humor, like I said, it's a little bit older humor, where it's a lot of like gags on getting hurt or the funny faces and things like that. Could have been that either the movie just didn't resonate the way the other movies resonated. I don't know. I just know that when I watched them, I wasn't going to the theaters and watching Ernest movies. I was watching them at home on the TV. So by the time I saw them, I was a little bit older than what you should have been watching them. Because I was born in 85 anyways. So by the time this movie came out in 91, I was only 5. So I probably wasn't watching it till I was like 8. So that would even be a few years after that. So I'm not even the case subject of like, I was in the theater watching that movie. I was more like I was at home watching whatever, Channel 11, Channel 13 or something, watching that movie probably during Halloween time. And maybe that's why I see it in the light that I see it. Because normally you wouldn't watch Hocus Pocus like any other time.
I didn't watch it in the theater, but I definitely watched that movie a million times.
Yeah,
these movies are meant to be watched at home.
They showed up on TV.
And that's what I'm saying. When they show up, a lot of the time those movies show up during their season. And so if they're on,
well, that's why like Hocus Pocus initially was considered as a bomb because it did come out in the summer actually.
Yeah, it came out in like July or something.
Yeah,
why would you do that?
It's a different time. My God. People thought differently. Now it's not like it is now where everybody's like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Specific. I'd be happy to watch a Halloween movie on July, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's just one of those things. Monetarily, like I want to release it in September, October. That's
what I'm saying. But now things have changed. Now they have like the summer blockbusters are in the summer.
And then it ain't October if it's not Saw or Paranormal
exactly.
Activity.
And times have changed to where that's how it is now. Before they would just kind of like they put out a movie, you like the movie, and you didn't, and now it's a lot more like seasonal because they figured out, hey, when it's Halloween, you're in the mood for scary movies. Yeah,
we're coming out with a Halloween podcast at Halloween. We're not going to put this episode out in July.
No, fuck that. We're putting it out January 31st. What? You guys all thought this was going to be Halloween? Hell no. Happy New Year's.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And I just want to...
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy Christmas Hanukkah. You guys remember that one?
No? Oh, yeah. Because of the commercial.
Yeah, the commercial.
Back in the day. Shout out. Nissan or something like that.
I don't know, whoever the hell
The one thing this movie really does that reminds me of is not Halloween. It's our Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think it was. It was just, I don't know what to say. I don't know when it came out, but I know when I saw it, it was most likely during Halloween time because that's when I saw Hocus Pocus and all those movies. So obviously you favor it a little more, and well, come on, let's be real. This is an Ernest movie. I wasn't expecting this to get like a Academy Award. Like I said, it's Ernest. I've seen the commercials when he did the car commercials. I saw other stuff other commercials that he did and things like that. So at the time I was seeing him, he was still Ernest, and it was popular, and it was still on TV. And even my dad knew who Ernest was. So, I mean, and he's a Mexican guy that came from Mexico probably 5 years before I was born. So, if that guy, was like, oh, yeah, that's this, it's just one of those things. But, it's a toughie, man. It is. It's a tough thing. Because, to be honest, like, there's honestly better done movies. Like, you can't say there's not in the same, like, year of the movie, right? Yeah. There's better done movies. There's probably better actors or more famous actors or more popular actors at the time. But there's just something about this movie that I just say, and it's not even how much I love this movie, because there's other movies that I love. This is more like a movie, like I say, like watching Hocus Pocus during Halloween is when I say you should watch this movie. Would I watch it any other time of the year? No. That's what I'm saying. Like, your favorite movie, you would watch it whenever, right? I would not probably watch this out of Halloween. I would probably watch Hocus Pocus before I watch this movie. Out of the month, but in Halloween, for some reason, I like to put it on and watch it.
Well, I mean, that's what this episode is about. I mean, it's our Halloween episode. Yeah. And why wouldn't you want to? Why wouldn't you want?
It's just one of those things that I put in the rotation. So 31 Days of Halloween, Ernest. That's what I throw on there.
Yeah. So starting like if we recommend it, I for sure recommend it for Halloween. If you want to broaden your Halloween repertoire movies that you pull out every year, add this one because it's worth it.
Trick or treat.
I'm not gonna say like I recommend it, but like if somebody's like, hey, I love to watch Ernest every year, I'm not gonna be like, oh, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna like, okay, that's not my jam. I don't recommend it, but good on you. Like, it's a movie with heart. That's a movie you enjoy. Fucking good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
It's
Go
not
watch
a cynical
like.
Oh, good for you.
If you want,
that's
our next one.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a wholesome movie that will make you cry, but then make you happy.
Yeah. Or on the real, you can just get up off your ass and watch the fucking movie and then decide for yourself. And let us know.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Tell us if you side with the people that are correct in this by saying it's a good movie and you should watch it every year, or with everybody else that are, how can I say, tasteless right now. Yeah, I'm gonna call you guys tasteless. This was a damn good movie. Fuck it, y'all should need to watch it. Just put it on. You know what? It's on Amazon. You can rent it now. You can buy it.
Something to go to sleep. Throw it on.
If you need something to motivate you to finally do the things you want to do as a kid.
If you want to achieve your dreams, watch this movie.
If you want to build a bomb ass treehouse, watch this movie.
If you want to see
artillery cannon that fires dog food and
milk and other projects.
How do I do that?
Watch this movie.
Oh, okay.
Have your dad be an architect.
Go back in time.
Hey,
star in 1960s.
I gotta be honest.
Batman.
She's a voice of Yzma, right?
She's Yzma.
Yeah.
She also sings Santa Baby. That's her.
I'm sorry. Who?
Get out of town.
Baby.
Really?
Yeah, that's fucking
Eartha
Kitt.
Kitt. There's multiple versions.
Yeah,
It's the famous version. It's the one everybody knows.
I don't know. The Nat King Cole?
The Marilyn Monroe one, though?
The one that...
Really?
Eartha Kitt.
Santa Baby.
Yeah.
It's when, like Marilyn Monroe was trying to, like, low-key be like, hey...
Is that what it was?
I'm fucking JFK.
Well, hey...
That's Happy Birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Santa Baby is a different
song.
You're
right.
You're getting two things mixed up, yeah.
Is this the one where...
Birthday, Mr.
Wait, she sang Oh Baby Baby?
You've never heard this song
We'll play this for you after the song.
No,
let's save that. Let's save that for Christmas.
We'll come back to
for when we talk about Tim Allen's The Santa Claus.
Yes. I know. I want the one with Martin Short because those are the best movies.
What about Martin Tall?
Martin Short and Tim Allen and what was it? The Santa Claus 3.
Santa Claus 3,
the escape clause.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
I don't know why.
You know what? And yeah, that's getting off subject. But Martin Short's the shit. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, he really is. I love Jack Frost as a character, so I'm all about that. Like anytime I see Jack Frost show up.
Michael Keaton's Jack Frost. Yes.
Hey, you want to get frosty? Let's get frosty.
Yeah, I remember I saw that.
that's.
I think my
such
dad
a
took
sad
me, and I remember.
Hey,
whoa.
we're getting off subject.
We're getting
Fuck that.
way off.
We're
It's
on
Halloween.
Ernest. It's all about
Halloween.
Ernest right
It's
now.
Halloween
Let's
time,
go back.
spooky.
And we're
Well,
wrapping it up.
we're wrapping it up.
Well,
But
to wrap it up, guys, any last words?
yeah, watch this movie. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have kids, add it to
Yeah.
add it to the Halloween roster.
Go to Walmart, buy the DVD. Go on Amazon, buy the DVD, or like through Prime,
Blu-ray, 4K,
buy the Blu-ray, 4K. Get the bootleg.
HD DVD.
It doesn't matter. Watch this movie.
Laserdisc.
Enjoy it. Ask your homie to go on to like Pirate Bay and download the video, put it on a flash drive, and send it to you via mail.
Pirate Bay.
You like that? You like that? How I reach deep into the
LimeWire.
Go use LimeWire. You use Morpheus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kazaa.
I say if you're gonna watch it, go in not.
I would rather you pay for this, and not that they're gonna make another
Yeah,
one.
that's what.
But I would like
Well,
to.
the thing
I
is,
would like
money
that.
we
go.
don't want Disney to lose any money on it.
Well, no,
though.
I would like to if he has his own like group. If he got
the
kids, that
Jim
still
Varney
gets-
estate.
Yeah, the Jim Varney estate. Maybe his kids still make money. I want to donate to him. Maybe I couldn't donate to him at the time, but I'm donating now by buying your one movie because it's a shit.
Take
You
us
know what
home, Alan.
All right, guys. So thanks everybody for listening. Hit that subscribe button on your podcast app to make sure you're always notified when a new episode of this show comes out. And come out and continue to hear us babble. Please, if you're willing, give us a rating and a review. It really helps us. And also, we'd like to hear what you guys think. What movies you think we should review and
Put the
watch.
comments on. Come back. Tell us, hey, this is a great movie. I saw it. Oh my god, thank you for
Oh my God, Ernest.
saving my life and showing me what this is truly about.
Just be very earnest
Yeah.
about your
Yeah.
reviews. And then once again, we are the Undercast Company. I'm Alan.
I'm Fred.
I'm Derek.
Ariel.
Yeah, Sergio.
Forgot my own first.
Hey, no worries. So yeah, we're the Undercast Company. And also, we also have a couple of other platforms as well. We have Nerd Incorporated with Ariel and Sergio. They run the Comic DC Comics and convention content on their YouTube page and on Insta, the social media stuff at Nerd Incorporated, NERDINCORP. And then gaming and tech and anime stuff like that content on District 6 YouTube, DSTRCT6.
Shout out to all my otakus and weeaboos.
Exactly. Also at District 6 on social media on Instagram. Check us out. And then Marvel Discussions for Derek's podcast. The Marvel Podcast, Infinity Stones, and Dragon Bones.
Dragon
I was
Bones.
going to say Dragon Ponies. Infinity Stones and
That's
Dragon
my roommate's
Bones.
podcast. He likes ponies.
Yeah, MLP. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for listening. And we'll be back soon with another film.
See you
Happy
in another life,
Halloween.
brother.
Later.
Thanks for being amazing.